Show on the road. Can we get the recording? There we go. Very good. Welcome, everybody. This is the regular Board of Finance meeting, February 25th, 7:03 p.m. We will start with the Pledge of Allegiance for the second time tonight. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United
The
States of
flag of the
America
United States of America,
and to the republic
To the
to
for
the
which it
republic
republic
stands,
which
for
it
which it
stands
stands,
one
one
nation,
nation,
under God,
under God,
indivisible, with liberty and
with
justice for
justice
all.
liberty.
for all.
Okay, thank you. All right, so let's look at our agenda. So this is, as everybody may recall, a regular meeting. So after we do public speak, we do have changes, additions possible if anybody has that. Um, so let me just quickly do the public speak then. Brianne Lanzieri.
Just listening right now.
Okay, welcome. Linda Fish, long time no
Hi.
see. How you doing?
Okay, all set.
Okay, very good. Um, let's see. Marcy, you're still here. You want to have
I
anything to
am
say here?
now. No, thanks. I'm good. Thanks.
Okay. Joanne, I feel like I just talked to you.
And I promise not saying more. I'm here to listen. I said my piece. Thank you.
Very good. And then we do have some Board of Selectmen members here who, we were just in a meeting, but I can quickly ask you guys. Scott, do you have anything?
I'm good, thank you, Robert.
Okay. Thank you. Carol, do you have anything further?
Just listening, Rob. Thank you.
Okay, no worries. I think that's it. Let me know if I've missed anyone, please. Okay. So, do we have any proposed changes or additions to our agenda? I was trying to keep this one relatively tight. And in fact, I would argue, since I haven't gotten an update on it, that we even strike 5D. I just don't know that there's anything to discuss there right now, and we have other things on our plate. We can kick it to a later meeting. And 5C, I don't know if we really have anything further on that either, but we can just leave it on and tick them off. I don't care. Either way, guys. Anybody got anything? Any thoughts? No? Okay. Well, let's just proceed. So we have next up is Town Administrator's Report. Now, I think Jim had sent us a copy of your report for the select board, the last select board meeting.
Right, and I got some updates on all of it, so it's actually good to show progress, right?
It is. Floor is yours, sir.
Thank you. So Jeff had already commented on the first item. I sat in and to Joanne's comment about the search committee. It was a very serious group, and they did do a lot of work, and they asked some in-depth questions. They certainly didn't, pull any punches in there. And they did a good job with those 4 candidates. And I only sat in on the first 2 rounds. I know 2 were put forward, so I know it's in the Board of Selectmen's hands now. The Veterans Field Grant. Remember, there's 2 grants involved with Vets Field. There's a steep grant, which is going to cover, it's $500,000 going to cover a lot of the pickleball courts and a lot of other areas. The legislative appropriation grant is what's referenced here. That's $250,000 for the playscape, basically. And at the time we were kind of in waiting mode. We had received a financial assistance agreement. We executed it. We were waiting to get it back, and that kind of holds up everything. Well, the good news today was I received the fully executed agreement. I now have the requisition form, and so I will be spending time with Jeff, but I'll be spending time on that so we can put in for the 3 quarters to date, which is 187.5 on that grant, the first 3 quarters of that grant. And it's coming in good time because we do have a supplier that's looking to get paid on the playground equipment. Jeff and Jeff, we're going to take a look at some numbers on the senior transportation garage, another steep grant. I did talk, just so the state knows we're involved. I talked to the the rep on that, and he told me, when you do go ahead, you have some outlays with that, but we can put in. We don't have to wait till the end to put in for the requisitions. We don't have to expend all the money to get the grant back. We can do it periodically and actually faster than quarterly, which was a bit of a surprise to me. I thought quarterly was the fastest you can do it. So that was good. That was good news there. We had received paperwork from USDA on the generator that's going to service fire, town hall, and the community center backup generator. It's a USDA grant. We were contacted by someone out of Boston who's kind of the liaison on that. And I've been waiting. Today must be a good day. They must know it's my second to last day. That rep finally got back to me today after a couple attempts and said, sure, she can meet next week. And it's important. We can't really do that application. And again, this is an odd thing with the federal grant. It was a federal earmark, so we've got the money, but now we have to apply for the money. It's kind of an odd process. But you want to do the application and the project narrative in the way they want to do it. So it makes sense to listen to them and follow their lead on it. So bid openings did take place on February 3rd for Long Hill Bridge. Since that time, now again, this is a DOT-funded project. They hire a consultant to do the work on that. And before I started, there was an RFP process for a construction inspection services firm that was awarded to the same firm, SLR, that did the Bunker Hill project, as it turned out. So since the bid opening, DOT is still, and their consultant is still kind of pouring through those bids. It's supposed to be lowest and best to get the job for the contractor. And they're still verifying numbers. There's probably about two, and Jeff was in the room for this. It's kind of an interesting process. 2, maybe 3 that are in the running. And as soon as they verify who is the best and the lowest, they will choose that, and we'll know that. But SLR is now on board. We're awaiting their contract, so we can sign it. The snow is not really holding things up because the planned notice to proceed on that project was going to be April 1st anyway. So maybe the snow will cooperate with DOT's process, and we'll be ready to go in time. Yes.
Hey, Jim, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
I'm trying to understand SLR versus the Connecticut State DOT. So you're saying the Connecticut State DOT is going through the bids and they need to verify their numbers.
Of the contract, SLR.
Say that again?
Of the contractor, of the project, the general contractor on the project,
Right.
the bridge builder. SLR is the construction inspection services firm. They make sure everything is done correctly.
Okay, thank you for that.
Here. And we just got an email from the Army Corps saying there's a lot of layers in these bridge projects.
Yep. Okay. I just needed to get clarification between those two steps.
Yeah, I made a conflict.
Go ahead.
Animal control, Jeff kind of alluded to it. NECOG was going to drop non-NECOG towns from services. You all know they have decided, after some pushback at a meeting that was held about a month or so ago, to allow them, but they are raising the costs considerably, not only for their member towns, but for non-member towns. So that's, again, a suggestion of what direction the Board of Selectmen wants to go. There are not a lot of avenues out there for animal control, and it's not a cheap process, that's for sure.
And are we NECOG or non-NECOG?
We're not NECOG. We're CROG, Capital Region
CROG.
versus Northeast. Yes.
Okay.
So we are working on the M&T financial change of signatories and global administrators with my departure. In fact, once again, the day before I leave, we got some emails back to do that, to appoint new signatories on the checking account. So there's an affidavit that has to be filled out, and we'll take care of that tomorrow too. Public Works is, the big issue was a statewide, kind of dearth of salt coming into the port of Bridgeport, and it hasn't improved any. So what Eric has done is kind of mix some salt and sand to kind of get us through. I think he's got they keep promising shipments, and they promised one this week, and after the storm hit, they now delayed it till next week. But he did kind of demand they give him 200 tons of just of some salt just to keep us going. The budget will reflect that both overtime in salt expenditure and overtime in public works will be reflected in that budget for this year. And it's only the end of February, so those are still preliminary numbers. The draft POCD, Plan of Conservation Development, had been updated on February 17th, if this was announced previously. If some of you were able to go to it, I hope you were. If you were not, there's a public hearing on March 17th, so you can comment on that. If anyone doesn't have that draft, I can send it to you, but I think I've made it available to certainly the Board of Selectmen. I don't know if I've included you folks in it. The Percy Cook Trail, that's the trail behind Town Hall. That's it's getting close to a crossroads in my last sentence there, that we need approval from BOS to move forward. Preliminary design is done. By the end of July, Barton and Logan Dice will be providing us with 30% design drawings. And the move forward is, now that we know what it looks like, and now that we have a design in place, do we want to go forward back to DEEP for a recreational trails grant to fund this project? Do we have the buy-in from the town on it? And what I've asked Kevin to do is, if they have room in their schedule for the next meeting on, I guess it's March 9th, to have him give kind of a comprehensive update, because Kevin Grindle is with B&L, and he presented to the Board of Education. And if the Board of Selectmen, maybe back when Eric first embraced this thing, they may have presented, but it's time for an update there. Small thing, the Sustainable Committee has requested that we mount the bronze designation that was received by the town in the lobby of the town hall. And I had asked the Board of Selectmen if they had a specific location. I believe it was the community room. I don't think Willie has gotten around to putting that up yet, though. There was an issue with the transfer station with one of the compactors. We took care of that. That was during that very frigid weekend or week. And the good thing about Casella is, when you have a contract with them, they take care of their own compactors and equipment there. So there was no charge for that. One of the items that I've been dealing with, which has been kind of constant, and maybe some of you have been affected, is snow plowing and mailboxes. Got a lot of people calling me saying, the town knocked down my mailbox. What are you going to do about it? Well, there is a policy in place. The Board of Selectmen adopted it back in 21, and there is a form they can fill out and submit to Public Works and give pictures and try and get the town to do it. But the hard and fast rule really is, if a plow hits your mailbox, the town's responsible. If the plow throws snow on your mailbox and it gets knocked down, you're responsible. So I can't even tell you how many. I thought I was done with them after the last storm, and then it fired up again on.
There were a bunch down. I mean, Mine, I think it was the last storm. Mine got knocked over by, I think, the bow wave of the plow, but luckily it popped off. It's a plastic thing, and I was able to snap it back on. But I saw neighbors all over the place with their mailboxes down. It probably was mostly the snow being pushed, not the plow hitting it. But
Yeah, absolutely. And that was a lighter snow the first time. I thought actually I was going to.
yeah, this one you would have thought, but
So any questions? That's kind of that's the update off that, and most things are moving forward. And again, I'll sit with Jeff tomorrow and map out where some of these things are.
Jim, I have a question.
Sure.
With the Percy Cook Trail, was that where the town would have to kick in 50%?
I'm not sure on the specifics because that was going if it's I gave Jeff a memo on grants. I can tell you in a second.
That's an 80-20 grant.
80/20. They usually are 80/20.
The 50-50 grant you're thinking about is the culvert across from over Cheney Brook.
Okay.
And that one we're working on. We got to find a different way.
Okay, good. Thanks.
Anyone else? Okay.
thank you for that. All right, if there's nothing further on the town administrator's report, we have some things in old business. I don't know if we're really going to do too much on all of these, but review of budget to actual and check register are the first two. Now, we don't think we have a full packet here, do we? We have an agenda. Yeah. We have an agenda, but again, because of the snow and some people being out sick, I think this week we didn't get our packet. So I don't know that we can do anything there. So we may just have to push that. Oh, Lisa, you're muted.
On now, but I sent that budget to actual. That was in your first email tonight, this afternoon that I sent.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Let me look for that.
I wasn't sure what Kate had sent before she left a couple weeks ago, and then she's been out, so I wasn't sure. So I just sent the budget to actual. I didn't know if she had sent the register already.
And you sent that today?
Yeah, about 4 o'clock, maybe.
So I see.
You got the others I sent, right?
Treasurer's report. Is this
Yes.
it? Oh, there it
Yes.
is. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I think the Ray line of the email threw me off because it
Department
was
info
preliminary
sheets?
budget, and instead it says it's actually no. Before that, there's one the Ray line is preliminary budget, but the actual document attached is the treasurer report.
Oh.
That's why I missed it, Lisa.
All right.
No
I
worries.
keep having problems with a couple people's emails are dead. They're not working. So I'm trying to get it and make sure. Yeah, there's and one of them was yours, wouldn't let it send, but I wondered if it was the size limit too.
Okay.
So I'm not sure.
I got the email. I have the email. It worked.
Yeah.
And all our emails should be accurate on the town website under the Board of Finance. I think they're all
Oh,
right.
those are, yes. There's 2 private emails, I think, that.
Yeah, just drop my private email off of there. I used to have it on there because when I was years and years ago, I had some technical issues getting my town email working, and that's long gone. My town email works just fine now, so just don't worry about it. Just drop that.
Yeah, I was left with a list of both, so I've been sending it to both.
I understand. Okay, so obviously, from that little exchange, you can tell that I haven't had a chance to look at this. Is there anything that you would want to call our attention to? That in terms of anything being out of whack that you've noticed? Just looking at it really quick.
There's a couple of quick salary questions I have, but I'm just wondering if they're in the right line.
I see where clerk fees are way over budget.
Yeah, I did see that too, and I wonder, Jeff and I were talking about that, and I want to make sure that the trash sales, the bag sales are in the right line. I'm not sure. So
The
I've got that
transfer
marked to
station stickers.
the stickers.
So we're not sure that they have been posted, the deposits have been posted to the appropriate revenue account. And we'll work on all that.
There's
Okay.
also something in there, Jeff, that says 490 penalties collected, and that was a large amount, so I don't know what that is. I'm not sure.
490 is related to an somebody had their land valued as wooded. 490. Carol would know more about the term, but
It's
they
the
probably got a
PA
penalty.
490, and it's either farmland, forestry, and they guarantee that they won't develop for 10 years. So if they do so or sell, they pay the penalty. The assessor prorates the amount.
Yeah, I looked really quick and it said something about 490 penalties collected, so I'll have to look into that, see if that's where it belongs. A few of the office supplies are up slightly, but they're small. They're like a $200 budget, so they're not really up that bad. The medical drug testing is way up for town garage, and I'm not sure if there's been a lot of hires, but there's something in there from CCM. So I've got to look. Oh, nope, that was yeah, I've got to look into that because there's something in there that doesn't look like medical drug testing. Also on Public Works grounds, the memberships are high, but it's because there's training going on for a tree warden. So that looks a little bit high. It's like 844%. That temporary public works salary in line 4399 department, that looks a little high. I'm sure there's something behind that I'm not aware of because I just arrived here.
Are you
And
guys
for-
looking at? Are you looking at the profit and loss? Is that what
No,
you're
it's
looking at?
yes, but
What
it's
it's
budget
called,
to
yeah.
actual. Yeah, it's profit to loss, budget to actual. It's probably a different report than you've gotten in the past. Received.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time keeping up because I don't know what line number or what page we're on.
If you,
I
yeah,
think
if
we
you
were just on page 6.
yeah,
Okay.
look at the department number, like I said, for 4399 Public Works. That's on page 7 at the bottom.
7, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I'm with you now.
And then look over in the far right column, percentage of budget, and it says
Yeah,
844%. So that's really high. That's way over.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Oh, yeah.
Right. And the temp salary, I see that too, 315.
Yes. Yep. Yeah.
Um,
So I'm not sure
yeah.
why that is.
The other one that was much earlier on was assistant town clerk. That was above.
Yeah, there's a
I
couple
think-
salaries
I
in there.
think we talked about that. I'm just, right off the top of my head, I'm not remembering.
Yep.
Let's see. Just, I see. Okay, medical drug testing. Yep.
In fire
See the snow
marshal,
removal. That's showing up. That's expected. We talked about that.
the snow removal, that really isn't too bad because this is only till January 31st. It's
Right, that's gonna get worse.
yes, it is. Yeah,
Unfortunately.
I just did this through the 31st, but this February has been brutal.
Yes.
Yep.
It is. That's that's just is what it is. Literally. Okay. Let's see. Apologies for just sitting here going as I scroll through here, but office supplies, but that's just a pittance. Yeah, I'm not. What's Veterans Committee?
Legal professionals, is it legal professional?
Legal is
In,
up a little. Yeah.
Planning, in the planning and zoning is 118%.
What page you
Why
on?
would that be? Why would that be? Planning
What
and
page?
zoning, the legal.
What
Oh, I'm
page is
sorry.
that?
That's page
What-
11.
Thank you.
right?
Page 11,
I
yeah.
hadn't quite got to 11.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Okay. No worries, no worries. Legal professional under P and Z, I see it. 1,870 over. Budgeted for 10,000 and we're at 11,870. I mean,
Gonna go
correct me if
higher.
I'm wrong, that could be disputes
Yep.
over assessments?
No.
Oh, is that what
we
that?
have-
Not assessments. Okay, sorry.
We
But
have
disputes.
an ongoing lawsuit, and I'll have more information for you next month. I've been trying to sit there and deal with the attorney on that issue, and there's also an issue related to animal control, and it's going to be another problem that's going to come up larger in February.
When you say issue related to animal control, we're not just talking about how
We
we're
have-
handling the increased cost that we were just talking about.
No.
You're talking about a legal
suit.
dispute issue?
Correct. Mhm.
Okay.
There's an active animal control lawsuit that animals were taken from a resident, and it's progressing through court. So I'm trying to get a handle on who's controlling the attorneys and the attorneys' fees.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's something that our insurer is generally, would handle or not. I don't.
no, it's actually it's it's actually the resident was arrested. I mean, it's a pain. And I'm just seeing the bills because I'm signing the checks. So I'm trying to figure out why and who's in control, because we do the animal control through the
Consortium.
Northeastern Conference of Governments. And the attorney is one of our attorneys that does mostly the planning and zoning work, but I'm just wondering who is controlling their hours. So I'm working on it, but it's going to
Okay.
go.
Okie doke. So we can expect a larger overage there. Contingency, we budget 50,000 every year for this. It looks like we've used $2,000 out of contingency. I just don't recall what that was for.
What page are you on there?
Oh, sorry, page 12. This is transfers, 990. The first line, contingency. We have a $50,000 contingency fund every year. That's just what we do. And typically to tap that, I always thought we were asked. So $2,000 is not a bank breaker, but I just don't know what that is.
It says it's a tax abatement eligibility.
Huh? From contingency?
Is it written out to the chief?
Yes. Well, it says for Andover Fire Department.
Okay. We're going to need to look at that, Rob. I don't believe it should be there, but it was probably the easiest place for the finance department to put it.
It was back in July.
It would have been, I have to research it, but I would think it's the chief of the fire department lives in Columbia. It he's not avail himself of the tax abatements that we provide for the fire department. So it's probably the way that they compensated him. But I do believe that the Board of Selectmen approved that because of the long time service that the chief has put in for the town. So let me look into it. I'll get back to you next meeting.
Okay, I appreciate that because I just don't, again, typically if we're dipping into contingency, we get briefed on it. That's all. If that's the answer, Jeff, I understand. I vaguely recall that situation. But yeah, get back to us on that, please.
We just need to find a better place to put it. It's not where it should go, but
yep.
It's
okay.
The treasurer and the
okay.
department. That's what.
Well, I mean, for me, just looking at it, literally scrolling through it tonight, that's what I've got for questions on that. Does anyone else see anything that they want to raise? Since we have Lisa here to help us and Jeff here to help us. All right. Hearing none. All right, so that's budget actual. Do we have the check register? Or is this,
I wasn't sure if it was sent, so I did not send that.
I don't see it. If anybody else got it, fine, but I don't see any email about it. I know that our usual
Yeah.
person was sick yesterday,
Yes. Yep.
so we just may not have it, which is unfortunate. But let's kick it, I guess, then to next meeting. We do what we can. So I would say we move on. We don't have a check register. There's nothing to do on 5B. Donation requests. This was something we're probably not going to do anything with this tonight. Lisa, you may recall we had a brief discussion about this. We had a resident in town who was asking us about could we take in charitable donations, and one of the things we talked about with our prior treasurer before they left was what could we do about this, given that the town is actually attempting to consolidate its accounts as much as possible, and so forth. I think given where we are in the budget process and everything that's going on, this should be tabled. I doubt you've had any chance for you to get to that. So let's just let's punt that for a month or two, get through the budget, and come back to that issue. With apologies, of course, to that good town resident who wants to help our town, and here we are. We can't even figure out how to do it. So yeah, we'll move on to that. Bathroom renovation. I haven't been focusing on that right now. I don't have an update for you. So again, I have nothing new there. I know there was I had heard some chatter about walkthroughs, but I don't know the exact status. And frankly, right now, the main thing with the AES that we're working on is their budget, not that. So again, I would propose we move on from that for now. We can come back to it. Of course, we're going to come back to it. We're not done with that. Okay. The only other thing, so new business is blank here because, I mean, really it's budget discussion. We can do that either now or board open discussion. Unfortunately, as we discussed in our last meeting, in the joint meeting, we don't have a lot to work with at this moment. So, we can maybe discuss more during board open discussion, but unfortunately I didn't put on. But I also don't know how much we're going to be able to do on that. So again, I would maybe move on to 7. And this is me. I couldn't make the CIP meeting. I know they had one. I know there was a request from the fire department. I do not know the details. I had emailed Fred, the chair, asking for detail because the minutes didn't really tell me, and I haven't gotten an answer on that. So I'm going to have to come back to you guys. I don't know exactly what CIP heard and did in their meeting. Unfortunately, I was out of town. I was in Boston, so I couldn't make that meeting. So under liaison reports, well, we didn't put it on there. We didn't put AHM.
You went pretty quick, Rob, on the fire department presented a bill to CIP for $100,209.52 for the compressor to fill their tanks. So that's what they did. I'm not sure in the minutes if it got approved. So
was it a repair or is that a new item?
That's a new item.
Okay.
Can you repeat what that was and how much it was?
The compressor for filling their propane tank is the item. And Jeff, sorry, can you repeat the number?
It's their air tanks.
Oh, they're air tanks. I apologize. I thought it was the propane.
They're air tanks. So I'll read it from the notes. Fire department compressor request. Wally Barton presented a quote and answered questions from the committee members. The current compressor used to fill it's the scuba, but the safety tanks for fire department members to go into buildings with their masks on. Dates to 1991, and some parts are becoming obsolete. The committee discussed the request and decided to entertain it again in a future meeting pending receipt of additional quotes. So what the CIP members did was said, you provided us one quote for what I told you, $100,000, and CIP is asking them to get additional quotes, and they'll go back at it again. So let's see what the fire department does.
Why wasn't this brought up at the time when they were buying all the new equipment for the face masks and all that other? Sounds like it's connected, right?
It does kind of seem that way. I kind of agree with you, Liz. But we'll have
I
Wally
feel like
on
a
our
little
next
sleight of
meeting.
hand, little sleight of hand here.
I'll
I-
ask. I will try to remember to ask
kidding.
Wally that
I
on the
would sit
4th.
there and not call it sleight of hand. What I would call it is the fire department and public works are the two most capital intensive departments we have. So the fire department will consistently come and repair their equipment. So whether we can spend the money at any given point in time is really the question that you guys will have to sit there and deal with. But they're
Yeah.
always going to come. I mean, hopefully it's not. I mean, we just bought a new piece of equipment, $1 million truck for them. They consolidated 2 other pieces of equipment. They've got new tanks. They're asking for a new compressor, and you can ask Wally at the next meeting what's next.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's going to be presenting to us on the 4th. I will ask him about this, give us the rundown. I missed the CIP, Wally, so help me out. And also, yeah, what's coming down the pike for capital. And of course, this ties back to my desire to get our arms around what all our funds have in them now, so that we can properly figure out what we got to load in to
And
properly save.
You'll be able to get all that data. The tax collector being out on PTO has put a little crimp in other things as well. So because she's the primary revenue generator, so all of the information that has to be put into the system by Lisa and her team will get done in the next week. You'll get that information by your next meeting, hopefully.
Great.
And I can tell you, Lisa is up to date on. I mean, we do have way too many bank accounts. That will also be something that will be brought to this board, wanting to consolidate bank accounts and also try to do more with our stiff dollars because our interest rate is declining. So even on your budget, you have a $150,000 revenue line item that's probably not going to be $150,000. We're going to have to make some adjustments to that, but we do have money in other funds that if we sat there and consolidated those bank accounts, kept the funds open and understanding that that's where money is supposed to be allocated, but make that money available to us for even a opportunity to earn interest will help us reduce taxes.
Absolutely. We want to get every dollar we can into that stiff account. Lacking a packet, I don't believe we have meeting minutes to look at. So another thing I think we have to punt.
Yeah. I did type the little blurb to add to, I think it was the December minutes that we talked about.
You didn't like the December minutes, the lack of detail, I think
Yeah,
you
I felt
wanted
it
to
was,
add.
yeah. So, and I did forward it to Marina. I think that was the process to forward it to her, and I thought we were going to have it in our packet to discuss today. If you want, I can forward y'all that blurb, or we can just wait till next month. I mean, I think punting is fine.
I'm fine to wait for that. My main concern is, for these next 4 meetings is to get through everything we can, and the meeting minutes we can sort later, honestly. Unless anybody disagrees. I mean, I don't want to run roughshod here, but that just seems like the right way to go to me.
Yeah, meeting minutes are, I mean, in my opinion,
they're important.
I think it's important and important to get things documented, but a month here or there is not going to matter that much.
We have our meetings recorded too, which helps. So let's punt that. So that takes us to board open discussion. So here, Lisa, I wasn't clear. Did you want to talk more about AHM, and this might be a good time to do it? Or were you good? Were you kind of good with what you'd given us and want us to just kind of look at that and talk about it in a further meeting? What was your thought?
I think actually it's probably best if you look at the presentation because I did ask a lot of questions in it and Tressa did give me good answers. So I want everyone to kind of review it and put their own spin on it.
Fair.
Yeah. Maybe we can talk about it next time or.
Oh, we can decide on it next time. That would be great to get one more thing.
Oh, well, when is the vote? Don't we have to have 2 people go and vote yes or no to their budget?
Not sure when the vote is. I think it's more of, I'll have to find that out. Sorry.
Yeah,
it's
I
one
think
thing I
that's
didn't
why
ask.
2 people go. And it is, the budget is a 5% increase
Yes.
over last year. It's actually a little bit over 5. It's a little bit different for each town. Ours, I think because ours is the lowest, ours equates to the larger percentage, so we're a little over 5% increase.
I thought it was a little less than 5.
Um,
He said it was a little less than 5, but
said it
Liz,
was a little less than,
What
but I did
we-
the math and it's a little over.
Yeah, we
Unless I
have on
did-
our spreadsheet is 5.08, if that's the accurate
Yeah.
number.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I recall. Yeah, he did say that. You're right, Heather.
As far as
But
the
then
voting, as far as the voting
ahead.
though, as I remember from last year, we present it to the Board of Finance. We look at it and we decide whether we want to go with that. That's our vote, and that's for Andover. So it's not, it would be just me and Amy May, right, if she can attend the next meeting, but it's more, we present it back to you guys.
When
All
is
of it.
their
And
next
the-
meeting, Luis? That you guys would be attending?
They didn't mention that.
Okay.
I normally just get in touch with them. I mean, because Jim did not go to that first meeting when I went to this past meeting. It was an update. Oh, Linda knows.
Linda, do you know?
I had to get the unmuted.
Yeah.
Yeah, the meeting and the vote was 2 or 3 weeks ago, and nobody from the town of Andover, the Board of Selectmen, or the Board of Finance showed up. I believe the town, I don't know who was contacted, but I know contacts
Yeah.
had been sent out. So
By,
this was
by
a
the time I
special-
heard about it, I think it was all over.
So this was a special get together they had the other day it was supposed to be Louise and Anne Cremay, and Anne wasn't there. So Louise was the only one there to talk to Tressa. So that's what I know right now.
So they held the vote to support the budget before they did the presentation?
No, I guess there was no vote, but the presentation was 2 or 3 weeks ago. I'm sorry. And nobody from the town of Andover was there.
Right. There might have been a vote if they had been, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the town of Andover can read the material and get back to the AHM and tell them how they vote.
Okay.
Right.
So I think we're going to want to do that in, the next 2 meetings, one of the next 2 meetings.
Yeah. As soon as possible.
The 5 though, I think was for the 3 towns together. So one of them was over 5, one was less. That's how we're like 4.84. I think that
Andover
5 was the total.
All right. Hang on.
Andover is something like 4.8 when you get down to the real nitty gritty.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I think Marlboro was over 5. One of them was over 5. One of them was over 5. One was less, and so it comes out to 4.84 or something like that.
Okay, then our budget spreadsheet has the wrong number then, if that's the case. Because it's computing out to 5.08.
Is it?
5.08 is what I computed on my own Excel. Like I populated into an Excel what calculation that's what I came out with for Andover. But the other thing too is what she had said in the presentation was that one of the towns wasn't happy with the increase, with the 5-ish% increase. She didn't say which one, but I personally think 5% is a lot. For us, I'm trying to remember exactly how much it is for us. Let's see.
Looks like about $6,500. By the way, the number in the spreadsheet's right. According to this document I'm looking at here, the municipal YSB formula document has us at 112,389. And last year it has us at 106,953. So just sorry, so $5,500, sorry, of an increase. Is that right? Yeah, just about 5436. That's the. Sorry, Linda, are you asking to join us again?
Yeah, I used to go to AHM and my husband's the president. So I used to be the person that went to all the oversight committee meetings. And there's new people here, and I don't know if they realize that this is a nonprofit organization. Most towns have to pay full price, and really we're paying, between the three towns, only 37% of what the full bill to run AHM costs. So
Yeah.
it might be going up 5%, but we're still getting a deal.
I mean, that was always my understanding and kind of take on AHM, that we're kind of lucky to have them. But
Yeah,
I also understand, it's a tough budget year, and you do need to ask the question. Okay, 5%.
right. And they are nonprofit, so they do their best with grants.
I guess the big question would be,
fundraisers.
if we really had an issue, I mean, what's our alternatives, the realistic alternatives for going in another direction? If for some reason we wanted to do that, what would that even entail? So, let's we have that presentation. We should look at it and see if we can talk about. I'm guessing the 11th might be the better day for us to talk about it. It's the 4th. We've got 2 presentations, one of which is AES. I'm just guessing that that's gonna take a lot of that meeting. But if we can get to it the 4th, fine. We can throw it on the agenda. And if we can't, we can boot it to the 11th and try to take action then.
My only concern about that, Rob, is when does AHM need our votes, either to in support or not of that?
Yeah,
budget?
I don't want to
That's
blow their
all.
timeline. I completely agree with you. It sounds like it's a
Right.
bit ad hoc
I
because
will
we're
find
already
that.
kind of behind. Can you check, Louise? Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because if we need to take action the 4th, then we just bite the bullet and we do that.
Okay.
Sounds good.
I mean, unfortunately, Liz isn't going to be there, which is the downside. But we'll have
That's
to.
okay. I can trust y'all to make a good decision.
And I just have one more thing.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's going to impact AES if we were to reduce it or even stop doing that, because they get that 1.5% people during the week as support. So I'm not sure.
Right. Well, there's a discussion. We can try to remember to bring that up with Valerie on the 4th.
Okay.
And I'm not,
Because I know I've talked to
suggesting-
her about AHM before, but I don't recall, there's a lot of information and I don't know if I've retained it all. So it's probably best to ask the question fresh.
Okay.
Sorry, Liz, go ahead. Liz, go ahead. I apologize.
Yeah. I'm not suggesting we opt out of AHM. I'm not saying that at all. I want to be clear about that.
Okay.
If anything, my point is, do we want to support the 5% increase, or do we, like one of the other towns, say it's a little bit high?
Right.
That's all.
I wouldn't be surprised if Hebron had an issue just because they're like half of the budget.
Yes.
They've got
So,
such,
I mean,
they're
if we're
just
not
such a
the
bigger
only
town.
ones,
Well, yeah, I think Hebron's staring down a large ed increase as well.
yeah.
I can't remember the number, but I think their Board of Ed is coming in pretty high too. So I wouldn't be surprised.
And so
if that was the situation.
my other thing about the AHM is, since I'm not going to be here next week because I'll be on a cruise ship and most likely won't be calling in. And so, I know, my only thought about AHM is I know that in past years they had, I don't know, 5 days a week they had assistants there in the school in AES. But in the past 3 years, they cut that back to the minimum, which is we get a person and a half. Is it a day? I mean, I'm sorry, a day and a half.
A day and a half.
A week. A day and a half a week of is it mental health? A mental health provider or
Yeah, I think
something,
it is. I think
in
it
the
is. It's either
school.
that or evaluations. Linda, do you have detail to add?
Yeah.
Hi. Yeah. Since the current administrator, whatever, Valerie,
Superintendent.
she's the one that put it down to the smallest limit that the schools has to have. And again, it's per state statute that we have a mental health or my mind's gone. But yeah.
I know what you're
So
saying.
she cut it down to the minimum So that's why you had more before Valerie. I don't know her reasoning, but you did have additional services before
Yeah.
she was here.
She may have shifted some over to the school psychologist or something. We can ask her about that. I feel like I've talked to her about that. I just cannot access that brain cell right now. So apologies.
Actually,
Let's bring it up on the 4th, guys.
Can I ask Linda one last question? Linda, because they reduced it down to that, is that the money that the town is putting in for that, paying for that person for that day and a half of that person?
It's
Or
paying
they
for that day and a half, but you're also paying for help at the high school too.
Okay.
So our bill includes the elementary school, the junior high, and the high school.
Okay.
But the elementary school is not asking for additional services. They just have the smallest available to meet the code.
Linda,
And of course, AHM does the evals for, birth to 3 as
so
well.
just so I understand, I mean, this bill looks like it's being generated off of our number of students. So
It is.
I mean,
That's-
there's no adjustment for the limiting of the services that we receive.
Because there's still the junior high and the high school.
Yeah, but what I'm
Add all those
saying is,
students.
what I'm asking is, if the bill is based upon students and we would be, you're not giving us a reduced rate because we're only taking a day and a half.
If you I can't look at it, but if you looked at the bill from before Val and then after Val, you might see it 4 or 5 years ago. But I'm no longer attend the AHM meetings, and I just know that, but it's all, but then the whole bill, if it's $10,000 to run, or $10 million to run AHM, they figure out like we're a third and somebody else is a quarter and somebody else is whatever.
I mean,
and that's how they divide the bill.
I got it. And I would just tell the board that, the bill 5 years ago was 89,000. The current bill that they're asking for is $112,000.
Right.
Well, I know also that the services have increased at the.
Yeah. This is
junior
the
high
thing
and
that
high
I think
school.
Louise sent around today, kind of showing, and the one thing about this is this is just Andover. It doesn't show us the other towns, but it shows kind of our usage rising. I guess the thing to think about would be, okay, but how does that compare vis-a-vis Hebron, vis-a-vis Marlboro?
Okay,
I don't know if we
you've
can
got
get that.
something, it used to say municipal services or formula or something, and I'm just trying to think off the top of my head. It did list all the towns and what the population and the cost for all the towns.
We have that, and we have this other thing called Andover resident usage, fiscal years 2013, 2014, and fiscal year 2024, 2025. Sorry, I'm probably getting the numbers messed up. And the secondary document is not a budgetary document. It's a document that gives us kind of numbers for people served over a course of a fiscal year in Andover.
Yes.
And you see it's rising. Yeah. The thing, I guess, to kind of go with what Jeff's talking about, and Liz is asking about, would be is if I assume there's a comparable document for Hebron and a comparable document for Marlboro, and you could kind of like look and see, okay, is the levy division that's kind of, it seems like a quick and dirty way of doing it, the way they do it, which is just based on the number of students. I don't know how much difference it would make, but if you had the data for usage rates in both towns, maybe you could make some argument that, based on
I can ask Steve if it was included in the packet, and if it wasn't, I can have Tressa send it to Louise, or she can talk to Tressa and get it if it wasn't included in your packet.
No, that would be great. Just so just for informational purposes, I'm certainly not proposing anything at this time, but it sort of speaks to that question. I think if what's the actual usage rate versus just doing it based on a ratio of what your student populations are.
Yeah, but I guess I don't know. I'm just trying to think back. I'm just going to pick a number. 20 years ago, they were trying to figure out a rule to how to divide it between the towns. And that made the most sense.
Oh, again, I'm not proposing that we do it a different way.
Yeah.
I'm saying that just from a getting information standpoint, so that you could even think about whether it makes even a lick of sense to talk about doing it that way. Let's get the info and then canoodle around about it. But I mean, my personal take on AHM has always been very positive. I remember when my kids were toddlers and we, went to some stuff with them and had them evaluated for this or that. And so I personally think they're a valuable service. But yeah, we're looking at every component of this budget in a year that we know is going to be tough. So
well,
I hope nobody takes this as an attack. It's not meant that way.
No, it's too expensive for the town to go out on their own. And even Columbia's grade school, and I don't know if they have junior high school, they actually buy services from AHM because it was cheaper for them. They're better economically than going out and getting their own clinical staff.
Right. Having their own school psychologist and maybe assistant or whatever they need to hit whatever they need to by statute.
If that's the case, if that is the case, can you get a full budget for them? Because what we got is just how they calculated out the Andover, Hebron, and Marlboro amounts. But if there's extra, that would be helpful to have the full budget. Like, this is what we're spending. This is what we have coming in from the 3 towns, from other towns.
I don't know, Louise.
Yeah, there's a pie chart. It doesn't give you a lot of
that.
Say that again, Louise.
I'll ask Tressa that.
Okay, thank you.
Try to get it from her.
Yeah, the only thing that I see in the annual report that they sent us, that Louise shared with us, I think it was, town municipal support is 43% of their budget, 43.2%. And then they've got grant money and they've got program revenue / personal service agreements. And I bet you that's 28.2% of their revenue. I bet you that's where that is. If they're getting money from Columbia or what have you.
And those personal service agreements are the ones that if you wanted to do more than a day and a half, the school would be paying it out of their budget. They would have to set up one of those agreements. So that's the money that's coming in.
Yes, and Hebron has extra services, and if you want
Marlboro,
to pay for Marlboro too.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. I'll ask for that.
So my question, and since I'm not going to be here, I'll throw that out there, is are there services that AHM can provide that might take the place of other services? Like, I know they've got at AES. So they used to have a person in there 5 days a week. It's been cut down. Would it save them any money, say from a psychologist standpoint, instead of hiring a full-time person with benefits and whatnot? I don't know. Maybe it would be just as much or more. Just thinking out loud.
No, definitely. We can definitely raise that. I'm with Valerie on the 4th. That seems like a perfectly reasonable question. I feel like I've asked it before, and I just, for the life of me, I can't remember her answer. So, hey, better to hear it in front of the whole board anyway. Rather than have me try to relay it, and it's a game of telephone. Okay, so we'll try to get a little more info on that. We'll put it on our agenda. We'll hope to continue to get through that and hopefully get AHM an answer soon, so they're not just waiting on us. We don't want to be the only people up against it from a scheduling standpoint. I don't know what their schedule exactly is, but we should
find that out too.
Them too long. Yeah, let us know.
Okay.
Let's see. Yeah, their annual report is only 3 pages. It was more of an infographic than anything. So yeah, we'll see what we can get. All right. So as a board, I'm reluctant to start trying to chew through the budget spreadsheet that we have at this time. One part of me would like to start chipping away at it, but part of me is like that, these numbers have to be tightened up. There's a lot of question marks here. And I don't know how much value we add by starting our process now on this spreadsheet. You know what I mean? Any thoughts on that? I don't want to be the only one, just taking control of this. If people think that we can get into this thing and, do something useful, then I'm willing to spend a little time on it tonight. What are your thoughts? What do you think, Liz?
Do we want to just maybe review it a little bit so that maybe the newer people could take the newer people? um,
I know what you
Nick
mean.
and Heather can kind of, if they have any questions, they can ask, and then maybe they kind of go over it on their own. How does everybody feel about that? I mean,
like
not
that.
to drag out the meeting, but
I'm happy to do a high level kind of review of it. And one thing I will mention to you guys, and I kind of brought this up in the prior meeting, is that this isn't kind of the full spreadsheet that we're used to getting. This is a preliminary document, and the full spreadsheet usually has more tabs and more calculations and everything, and we'll get there, right? So for now, we're just looking at the first pass, really, right? And some of the numbers that are in here may be more solid than others. But yeah, so we have, as you see at the top of this document, does everybody have it up and available, or do we need to say do a screen share?
Yeah, can we do a screen share? And I mean, I thought I had, it's open it's in Excel, right?
Yeah, we got it by Excel. I have mine up. I don't know. Let me look. I am such a technical wizard here. Share. Let's see if I can do it. Sending a request to share.
You got this.
I think Jim may have to let me do it.
I'm looking for the request. I think I can allow you.
You're good. Try it.
Okay. Let's see. Presenter layout, content only. I don't know. Here, let's do this and we'll see how this goes. I'll just do this. Okay. Can we see this? Is it reasonably accessible to you? Sorry.
Yeah, well, that's good.
I'm going to put this down. So get out of the way. Okay, so this is what we've got. And I should add that this number here I fixed. This is my copy, I think. Oh no, is it? Yes, I think I did fix this. There's a couple tabs. This is prelim budget summary, which is the tab when you open it first, this is what comes up, but it's fed by the first tab, which is prelim budget. This is the detail. Okay. Let me go up to the beginning of this one. Starts with revenue. Mostly, of course, that's our taxes. The only thing that I don't think we've usually done with revenue, and I want to ask the treasurer about at some point, is where we account for, or if we account for something like Town Aid Road. But in the revenue, typically what we've got is our tax money, and then there's revenue, I think another revenue line later that gets us that puts in the ECS money, which is a big chunk of mine. It's over $2 million for education cost share that we use for our to throw at our education costs. Sorry, so I'm scrolling too fast. Let me go back up. Intergovernmental revenues is probably where that is. Yes, ECS funds, as you can see. There's our $2 million there. Most of these other ones are pretty small. As you can see, I think these all look like they're either flat. I don't know if these are even projections or if these are just, they haven't been changed. And that's exactly what we're going to get. The one that I'm not as familiar with is this one, 23 MRSA revenue sharing. So at some point in this process, I ask about that. That seems to account for maybe the whole jump in revenue almost. So
yeah, I wonder what that is.
Yeah, we may want to come back to if anybody can chime in with it, if they know what that is. Otherwise, maybe for another meeting, if you could.
That is a definitive. We did get a notice from that, and all it says is supplemental revenue sharing.
And MRSA, I'm sorry, can you remind me what the acronym is? Because I don't know it.
Municipal, I don't know, Jeff, if you know that, municipal regional. I'm not even sure.
All right.
But I will say
let's investigate.
Revenue sharing.
What, Jim?
Municipal revenue sharing account is a program
Sharing.
that
Okay.
provides funding to municipalities based on their property tax revenue.
Oh, is that when they made the change to the car taxes?
Yeah. Apparently, yeah.
That's what it was. They remember they capped the mill rates on car taxes, and then there was pushback from a lot of towns about that. And I think this was the solution. That might
maybe.
make sense.
Oh,
So
Yeah.
that is the amount that they've said for 27. So the governor's proposed 27 budget. Yeah.
Should it pass?
Yeah.
Which is always the tricky bit. Some of these numbers, guys, and this is something our newer members may or may not be aware of, but it is often the case that we finalize our budget. It is almost always the case that we finalize our budget before the Connecticut State Legislature and the governor have sorted their stuff out. And so there is always a certain amount of uncertainty. I sound like Dick Cheney, known unknowns. Where you think you know, but you don't know for absolutely certain. And sometimes we just have to bite the bullet and take a chance, and we should be conservative with those kinds of numbers. Yeah,
I
you cross
noticed
your
one
fingers, you get
thing.
it.
Yeah. I just noticed the ECS funds.
Yep.
I don't think that's correct. 25, 26. I don't think that's correct. 501,000.
This is
That's
revenue
just year
versus
to date
expenditure.
so far.
Yeah, that's in
That's
progress.
this year.
Yeah.
That's this year. So never
Here's
mind.
the actual. This is last year's actual. Sorry,
I'm going
yeah.
backwards. I'm like, okay, I'm looking at previous.
Yeah, honestly, this column is confusing. It's it keeps confusing me, and I go back to the heading, and I'm like, right, okay, I get it, but it keeps doing the same thing to my brain, Liz.
Okay.
It gives you real relevance.
Maybe we should move it. I don't know. But yes,
now that we know, I'm fine. Yeah.
And as we discussed it, I guess this number's flat. We're not, that's pretty much what we're gonna get. But okay, good. We get a little bit of money there. That's nice. Let's see. This is all. I don't know if this is accurate, if this is just building out from last year and just assuming that because we don't have a difference of projection, but these are all exactly the same.
Yep, it's just from last year.
Right. So I don't know if these numbers are really the numbers. So we'll maybe move on. Interest. Jeff talked about this. This, look, if the interest rate in the stiff account drops, maybe we don't get that. If we get more money into the account to compensate for that, maybe we can get back to that number. Are we on track? Sorry, because the fiscal year, it always breaks my brain a little bit. The 86,814 that we have, this is through the end of January, right? If we extrapolate outwards, are we going to make it to our 150 that we were expecting for last year's budget?
Where are you?
I am in investment interest.
Okay.
And you've got, the 7,125 to 131.26 number in there at 86,814. Now that's
not
6 months, right?
7.
7. So, and of course, if the interest rate's changing, I don't know that we can't just extrapolate straight from that. So maybe I'm asking a difficult question, but are we going to make it to 150?
You're going to be close, and the issue is going to be how much money we have to move back and forth. Like right now, we can't move any money because we can't move any money back and forth. And we're going to get there, and that is really going to be the key. So the interest rate is declining slightly, and it's all about how much money we keep there.
Mm-hmm.
So
now, what do you mean by moving back and forth?
We have multiple bank accounts, and for years we've been trying to consolidate down and get as much we can into our stiff account. And the thing that's confusing, and again, for Nick and Heather's benefit, there's a difference between the word account and the word fund, right? You could have an account with tons of money in it, but that account has month that we're tracking for 8 different funds, right? That we use in town. And in the distant past anyway, we had a bad habit of every fund we had its own darn bank account, and it was all these little checking accounts, and it was not the way to do it. I think we've made a lot of progress on that, but I don't think we're done. But Lisa can speak to that as she gets more and more into this. I think.
I
Right
will
now, I don't
tell
know if you're
you-
in position to.
Yeah, I will tell you, am I muted? No, I will.
No, you're not.
Okay, I will tell you that there's still entries to be made, but because I have not received a report, I cannot do it. I've reconciled the banks through December. I'm still missing something from a department, and then this will be updated. So this is only updated till partially December 31st. So you may, like Jeff said, you may still get there, and I'll know better once I get that report.
Okay.
Rob, can you scroll up just a little bit?
Sure. How far up you want me to go?
The ECS funds.
Yeah, here.
So if that's 501,000 for 7 months, how does that get to?
Yeah. To 2
I don't know
million.
that it comes. I don't know that it comes in. It might be a little irregular, and we may have gotten something that hasn't come through yet, based on what Lisa just said. I don't know. Lisa, do you
Okay.
have a thought on that?
Let me look at that and see what's in that figure, but I have a
I can't
feeling
remember how many installments we typically get, but
that's
that
what I
number
was gonna
suggests
say.
4,
Is 4, right? So
and
at
so
this
we should
point-
be at 2.
Right, and at this point, when
Okay.
this was January 31st, if that wasn't, because let me look right now, and I'm looking 131.
I strongly suspect that given the
one,
date we've gotten
when
it.
this was done, yours was done. There's now been another 501,000.
Okay.
So right
So this
now
is a
it's
million,
1.02,
Million.
right?
Okay.
002. Yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
Good catch. I thought there was something like that, and I guess I just moved on. So anyway, all right. Anyway, that obviously, look, this is by far and away our big number. These numbers we'll have to tighten up to see if we think these all need to be left here based on past experience. But as an example, like, look at that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Versus what was budgeted. We're already in 7 months in, so I'm not quite sure what's going on with clerk fees, but
Okay, remember we just talked about that.
we did. Sorry.
Yeah. So we're looking into that because we agree there
Yeah.
it does look a little off. So
That looks
yeah.
wonky, so we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And then by the same token, the next line, transfer station is the other way. So maybe there's something going on there.
Right.
That would be logical.
Right. See what that column does for you, Rob? It makes you stop and think. That's why that column's there.
The moment I complain about it, there it is. Yes. I got it. Okay. Fair enough. I'll take.
It just kind of brings you
Muffins.
to reality, to the situation you're
No,
at. You
it's a
really need
very
that
good
money.
column. I think it
Yeah.
was just where it's placed that
Yeah.
just screwed up my brain. So right. Okay. So then we get down to that's our total revenue projection. And again, there's some numbers in there that are not necessary. So don't take this here as gospel, this increase.
Mhm.
But we're projecting, it's not a huge amount of money either way, but we're looking at 12.8 in revenue, basically. And then from here on out, we're into expenditures, right? The obvious 2 big ones, the schools. This is, as I mentioned, this is the corrected. You can see I copied and pasted it. I had it from an email with it underlined. So you can tell me that's me monkeying around, but that is the right number, I promise. So that's the change for our levy to RAM. 2.9 is unless the RAM Board of Ed makes another change, which I don't know that would happen. That's where we are at with RAM, provided it were to pass referendum. And that accounts, by the way, their ops and their capital budgets, which are voted on separately. So there's always that possibility to keep in mind. AES, which we've extensively discussed, that's the ask. We'll be talking to them next week. This is just the calculation, which we know. And then this aggregates them, as you can see. And then the rest, from here on out until we get to the bottom where this gets added back in, this is now line by line, every town department. And this one, for me, the one that's obvious here is for, this year, we talked about this in the last meeting. Assistant and project manager, or one assistant or whatever, It's been talked about for years. When Eric was here, for sure, there was repeated discussion of help with project management for things like writing grant applications and whatnot. I remember that was one of his things that he felt like he couldn't get to enough. So Board of Selectmen will take that up, and we'll wait to hear more. This here, I don't know if this is this salary line item for the town administrator themselves this is just a placeholder number, a guesstimate, not something that's been seriously discussed. Is that true, Jeff? Because we're hiring somebody new. I don't know.
That salary is going to be a question mark. It could go higher, it could go lower. That's something the Board of Selectmen, we haven't talked about it. I talked about that with Lisa today as to what that should be. But until the Board of Selectmen meets and until they hire someone,
Yep,
we won't know what
I
it
understand.
is.
I just want to characterize it for people on the board. Would it be fair to say that we see in this percent change for personnel stuff, if we see 3%, 3%, 3%, 3%, these are kind of TBDs?
You have certain numbers there.
Some of them are contractual, right?
Some of them are contractual, but they're not there. We have tried to do a pretty good job at the town as to the union contracts of only being 3%, but each one of those lines needs to be adjusted. That's why we're working on the full-blown payroll summary, similar to what you had in your document last year with all of the line item, all the departments, and are they salary, are they hourly, what's the increase contractually, what's the increase that the town wants to offer non-union employees, and we'll have that all built and drop into what you're looking at right here.
Okay. So this is a small line item, but the other thing that jumps out at me is our friend this column again. So we have this apparently a grant, a line supported by $5,500 grant for historical document restoration, and we had a budget. Oh, I see. We had a budget of 0, hence we spent 0. Sorry, this budget increase. So this number isn't a 0% increase; it's infinite. We're increasing from 0 to 6,500 here. Okay. So this would be in addition to the grant. So you'd have this would put together would get you to 12,000. Is that is that netted out, or is this with the grant and we are only putting 1,000?
Where are you at? What are you down?
Sorry. We are under town clerk. The last line of town clerk, historical document restoration.
If you look at that, that's it's and we got to make sure that we have the grant, because what I would do is go back up to the top and go, is there that grant even listed there? But in my head, Rob, what that is if they're getting a grant, they're sitting there saying that the historical document work is being done in the clerk. In the past, I know, and if Carol was on, she'd be much more apt to explain, but they did a lot of scanning of documents so that they could sit there and keep some of the documents that they had previously, old documents on digital. And we need to look at that. So I wouldn't focus that. If that's supported by a grant, then the grant might require that we actually do something with it.
It does not. I'm sorry, can I just
Please
speak?
do, Carol, jump in.
So I questioned that last year because it was always $1,000. So that $5,500 grant should not be in there. It should be listed and reported the following year if the grant is actually applied for. Because one year they did not, the state, when they needed more money, they did away with that grant. So it should not be listed there because the people are being taxed on $5,500. It should go back to $1,000, and then if the grant is applied for and received, should be reported the year that it is received, because it depends too on the time of year that you apply for it. If you apply in the spring, you will not get that money until the following fiscal year. So there's 2 application periods, fall and spring. And if you apply for it, you will get it as long as the funds are there. But it should not be listed. That should go back to the $1,000 because the town always funded $1,000 for that. Because if we get a $5,500 grant and our project is 6,000, we had that money in there to make up the difference.
Okay. Because now looking at this again, as I had myself all turned around, it looks like we budgeted 6,500 last year and haven't spent a dime, at least according to this. So something's off
They
there.
did do that. They did do that, but because what was spent was just a $5,500 grant. So
Okay. We'll have to figure that. We're gonna have to figure that one out. We'll put a little.
Yeah, nothing has been spent this year.
Okay. Okay. Right. So now, sorry, moving on. Obviously, this is again a lot of salary stuff that we don't really know necessarily. This is, I imagine this is one of those it is what it is issues. You got to maintain your software, and the contract is, I assume this is the best we can do, and so we're being asked to increase this a little bit. It's not a ton of money. It's by percentage, it's high for the tax collector's office. The assessor. Again, these are software maintenance and salary. That's pretty much the whole shebang. The software contracts do seem to jump up, huh? Registrars, I think we talked a little bit about this in the wanting a little bit more in here. But again, ultimately a relatively modest increase. I don't know. Again, some of these numbers are just flat 3%, so I don't know if those are contractual or not. I think these would be mileage is big jump off supply. I mean, again, big jump, but in the context of it being $100. And remember, for elections, obviously we've expanded things with elections and based on expanding, early voting and everything like that.
What's the mileage for the registrars? Is that for training, driving to training and whatnot? Anybody know?
Yes, it is for driving for training. It's in the document that they've provided to tell us why they're asking for a little bit more money.
Okay. I don't know if I saw that.
That document? Yeah, there was.
I don't think I saw that.
It was sent tonight in those attachments.
Yeah, it's
in the
department info
preliminary budget.
sheets. This one here, department info sheets.
Oh.
And in here, there's a registrar's document.
Okay.
I
have not had a chance.
I didn't have a chance to look at it, but this is the explanation. It's a one-page document.
Conferences increased by 100.
Mileage increased due to further differences to conference. Yep. There it is.
Supplies.
So I think this did go out to our full board. So you guys should all have it. It's just, I think it was easy for me to bring up quickly.
Yep.
Let me know when you're good, Liz,
Okay.
and I'll go back to
Thank
the
you.
budget.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah,
You're
thank
good?
you. Mhm.
Okay. Oops. There. Back to here. Okay. So that's elections. Building department. This is not a huge one. Yeah, this is all basically salary stuff. Yep.
Yep.
Town office building. So this is, again, this is going to be salary and maybe some supply and contract stuff. Oh, this is literally, this isn't the, this is none of this is this, the salary. Sorry. This is all services stuff. Okay. This is actually a decrease right now. Hopefully that's real. The main
Increase in
thing, as you may
electricity.
note, is this right here. We did
the-
upgrade some things in the town hall. So
Yes, yeah, and I don't know if that's why, but,
we did a heat pump system, hybrid heat pump system. I'm
yeah, and
guessing
I
that might
did
be
a
part of it.
forecast, yeah, and again, I looked at what we spent so far this year in that column, and I said, well, this isn't gonna even, we don't even need what's in the budget, so I forecasted the number of months left.
Yeah, if you look at that, yeah. Again, the modern heat pumps have gotten more and more impressive. I say this as somebody who just spent a ton of money putting them into my own house, so I hope that's true. But it does seem to be true, and huzzah. Also, if memory serves, it's a hybrid system. So when it was really cold that week, I mean, maybe you guys actually switched over to propane. I know it has that capability. But that would be, that makes total sense. That number should drop. That's exactly what we want to see. Advertising. Looks like we're just staying flat. Looks like we're spending, well, actually, I don't know if this is a really seasonal thing because of budget votes or election time, and otherwise we don't really do much of it, but we're almost expended there.
Yep.
So, insurance, I assume this is not health. This is all the other insurance. This is Kerma. This is like property casualty. I don't know if we're comps under here, that kind of stuff.
Yep, and we haven't heard from them yet, so I don't have an update on that.
I would say, since I work in the insurance industry, this number is almost certainly going to rise. How much it will rise is your guess. I doubt it's as bad as what the schools are seeing and what the town's dealing with at the 15% with the health insurance consortium. But I also sincerely doubt it's going to come in flat. So let's mentally put an asterisk on that one right there. And this is benefits, and this is where you're going to get, wow, it's a nice jump.
Yeah, well, I wonder why is that?
We're still working on that. That's Jeff and I are still working on that. We talked about it being a little high, so maybe it won't be that much, but it all depends. That is all dependent upon what you end up with for a payroll.
Right. Exactly. Because everything you do to salary then propagates down to benefits. And so, because it's all keying off that salary number. So, and then this one we all know about. This is the one we've talked about for months now. It's hitting everybody.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is the retirement. Doesn't look bad. Hopefully that's a good number.
Don't believe any of them.
Yep. Okay. So this is the thing. We're walking you through here, but yeah, take this all with a grain of salt, folks. Sorry. But maybe there's some value in just seeing it and going through it a little bit.
I mean,
Community
it's like
center, this one in particular has to be discussed by Board of Selectmen. Sorry, Jeff, go ahead.
It's like the health insurance. I think we're going to be low from the town perspective on health insurance this year, basically because of who left and who was taking insurance, and so that summary will be prepared, but take all of this with a grain of salt until we can get all of the payroll information put together.
Absolutely. And now if I'm correct, the staffing levels at the community center and whatnot, that's another thing that is pending discussion and decision. Yep. Okay. We'll leave that at that then. There's nothing much to say about that because it's not really real yet. Janitorial supplies, I guess. Whoa. I mean, this is a nitpick, of course, but that's what we do here. It looks like we haven't really spent much.
The kitchen
in terms
is
of
not
janitorial.
It's not operational. We need
to put in the hood and the venting system and everything.
There
right?
you go. Yep.
Okay, fair. Town garage. Not a lot going on there. Actually, it's a drop. Hopefully that's true. Fuel oil, electricity, love to see it. Excited to be a part of it. Let's do it.
Rob, for a second, can I just
sorry?
go back to the advertising? There's two $300 entries for job postings that are in the advertising totaling $600. So that's probably that.
We are in fact posting for lots of positions, aren't we?
Yeah, so
what are you
that's
gonna do?
probably that's probably why.
Yeah, that
And a
makes
lot
sense.
of your activity was back in November, so
Right. Well,
Yeah.
maybe so something to think that, not that this is a pig line item, but we may end up
Yep.
over there. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Where were we? We were town garage. What was I? Sorry. Oh yeah, we talked about janitor. Okay. Town garage. I don't see a ton here. You had talked about this one already, so not much to say. You already brought it up. Again, like I said, this is great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep. Be nice when this is finally done, but there's not a lot going on there. No, sorry, this is the one I'm thinking of, isn't it? This is the one I'm thinking of, the old firehouse. So we're dropping this. That's good. Again, it's just electricity for like an alarm system, right? Maybe some lighting. I forget. Anyway, let's see. Auditor. Here's one where I would think to myself, are we gonna get that flat? Probably not. I don't know. We don't do multi-year contracts with them, do we? The auditor?
I've done them in the past. I don't know yet. I haven't dug in. I don't know if Jeff knows.
I remember, this has been going up. It's not going up as you can see. It's not going up at like this dramatic rate, but it has gone up each year. So this is last year's number. You may have to consider that number to be low.
Mm-hmm. It's possible. I've done a 5-year contract before, but I don't know.
We've had trouble getting auditors, so I don't know. I think we're year to year with them. That's my guess, but we should look into it. Dennis's retainer. That's in.
Oh, and that needs to go up. I don't think that's all Dennis. I tell you, Dennis's retainer needs to go up. So we'll put in for that one.
So we have other attorneys we have on retainer.
Well, that
like
was
for
the whole
PNC and stuff.
thing. Like I'm not sure who's all included in that. Like if you could look, Lisa, in that line item for legal retainer, just to say who's in it.
Yeah, let me look. Let's pull it back up. Retainer. Attorney Dennis O'Brien, Kanan Escalera, and McHale. And those are the only 2 that are in there.
And
I don't know that other one.
So the other one was that was related to employment issues.
Okay.
Right. So Lisa, that's one that we need to look at.
Okay.
The appropriate line item that it's going in.
Okay.
Right. Even if we need to create a new line item, because there's a retainer, which is a flat number, and then legal services. And we probably should create additional counts.
This just looks like a guesstimate. It's bounced around a bit. We don't seem to have spent anything on it this year for the town engineer. But in the past, as you can see, we've spent more than 10,000. But looks like we budgeted 10,000 and haven't spent anything.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, I'm just double checking into February. Yeah, no, we haven't spent anything yet this year.
Okay.
And you have to remember that Eric was leaving, and the projects we had going on were the bridge. So I'm sure that Eric had some projects that he was expecting to use, probably more from a standpoint of surveying work, that type of work.
Um, we've got a decrease
That-
here.
That's
I
only
don't think that's
one.
right.
That's only one of the three groups. So we've only received, I believe, the CROG bill that you have.
Right,
We haven't received the bill or the expected cost for CCM or cost.
right. Because they're all, see all the line, the descriptive line there? And it says
Yeah.
capital COCG, CCM, and cost, and it's only one that I've,
Right. So one out of the three. Yeah, I'm guessing. Yeah. Okay. Yep.
I know something came up about the animal control in town.
Mhm.
Where do we land on that? Because I
They
know,
got the description we got, I think, in the last meeting was that originally we were going to just be cut loose, right? Deal with it yourselves. And there was pushback, and now the difference is, well, we'll keep you on, but we're jacking the cost way up.
It's lower on the report.
Yep. So we'll get to
we're
that.
on, oh,
On
okay.
it's still to come. We haven't gotten there.
Oh, it's lower
Excuse
on
me.
this budget?
Yeah,
Lower
it's
on this budget?
probably.
Okay.
If I
Okay,
can,
gotcha. All right.
you know what? I don't want to lose place. Let's.
Nope, that's
So we
fine.
were at
I
Public
can wait.
Works. Yeah, we'll get to it. It's there. But
Yeah.
yeah, the narrative
I can
answer
hardly
is
wait.
that they
I
increased
can hardly wait.
their billing to us. They're saying we're just going to charge you a lot more.
Great.
Yeah, well, the other option was even worse, I think. So
I know. Build a
again, these are,
facility, hire people.
let's not take these necessarily as set in stone or anything. We need to get updated info. This one I guess is real because it's per contract. Snow removal OT. So this one is, as we just discussed, this is going up because this isn't through, like, we're already here, right? And we just had another snowstorm, and so we're going to be well over there. So we have to decide whether we increase this budget or we say, okay, we had a bad year, but we're through it. And, we've had years where look at this, right?
right,
Yeah.
it's, right now, it's over by $17,000, the end of February, that
Ouch.
date there, January, yeah, but, I mean, I don't know how many more storms you're gonna get, but,
This is throw a dart at a board stuff in terms of budgeting because it's all dependent on the weather, and you could have a
Yep.
freak storm and all of a
Yep.
sudden you're behind. So we'll just have to throw our dart at the board and decide, do we want to make this 25? Do we want to make it 30? And roll the dice. We'll see. But we'll see. We'll get more updated figures on this. So we have, one thing you could do, whether it's really advisable to do, is you could take the 3 year, once we have this number, up, you could do a 3-year rolling average kind of thing and use that as your guesstimate.
I think it's interesting if you look at the sand.
Yeah, we don't always buy it. We weren't using a ton of sand for a
Not
while
sand,
there.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I meant
sorry.
salt.
Oh, yeah.
We've only spent 17,000.
Because they haven't been delivering,
right.
Wait, do we don't pay till delivery? Is that it?
I mean, there was a delivery in January of 17,000, and then your delivery in February was only 3,000. So they're only giving you a minimum. Yeah.
It was the delivery in February was also 17,000. So
there's one in January. I don't see one, Jeff. If there's one, it's not entered into the system yet.
We discussed it this afternoon. It was an issue on the input. So
Okay.
So what you're seeing is salt is going to pick up because he's going to attempt to fill his shed to get ahead of next year. I might sit there and work with him a little bit, but he does have orders on ready to go. And the other thing is you're going to see an increase in sand because he mixed the sand and the salt. So you'll see a lot of sand around on the roads, which you haven't seen in past years. And that was just to try to extend our salt stock.
Yep.
I think that's a wonderful idea. I'm sure there's some yin and yang to it. I know obviously nothing about it, but I looked at the cost of sand compared to salt, and
it's awful messy.
Yeah. Well, they're going to come and sweep anyway at the end of the season, right? regardless.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
I get it.
Obviously, we'll have some spring stuff feeding into this, but it looks like we might be coming under here. For mowing. Beautification. Apparently, we've spent almost nothing. But in the past, we've spent. Oh, it's bounced around.
You got to watch beautification is going to go up because they're going to put the other sign in.
The sign, yep.
All right. And your mowing contracts are going to kick in the spring.
Mm-hmm.
So those are for the field on a long hill and
Yep.
some of the side roads, the side issues that were being mowed, the small spaces. So anyway,
Okay.
you have that and you have the sign that's going to go in. So those, I imagine, will get closer to the budget.
So these might be reasonable.
You got
numbers to
mulch
use.
coming too. Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a couple times of mulch last year. I don't know if you'll do it this year, but that's in there too.
Right. More electricity
Jeff.
savings. Huzzah.
Wait, another question about the beautification, Jeff.
Yes.
Just quickly, I know last year when that sign went in, or the year before, whenever it was, there was discussion about the way it was oriented.
Mhm.
And I know that I remembered them saying, oh, yeah, they'll fix it because it's facing the road and it should be like perpendicular so that when you're driving by, you see the sign. And I just wondered if you had heard anything more about that. If
It's
I mean, is it a done deal?
It's not two-sided.
Oh, it's not. Oh, I thought they were going to make it two-sided. I thought they were going to come in and do the other side. No?
No, they were going to do an angle, but what they've decided to do and what's been decided to do is put another sign down the other end of Route 6. So like an in and an out. So, well, actually, they're going to both be ins, to be really honest, just coming into the center of town. What we should do is spend some money on that concrete wall and do a mural. So we got to find a grant related to an artistic mural to put on that concrete wall, and then maybe sit there and put in a nice, wall seating area so people can go up and hang out on the trail. That would be nice. We'll figure it all out, but it's got to be done with grant money because that's how most of the stuff is gotten done. So
yeah. Okay. I was just curious. I was remembering things.
When you have the library come in, ask Kathy DeRozier because her and Elaine Boucard have been spearheading that sign.
Oh, I should talk to Bill and Kathy about when we can get her in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we need Bill back. Get his butt back from vacation. Get him on there.
Yeah,
she's usually in the background. We can just say, Kathy. All right. So looking at the transfer station here, it sure looks like we're headed for an overage. No, I'm sorry. No, that's my own eyes betraying me. No, we're doing fine. 117, not 171. Whew. Scared myself there. My bad. Sorry, everybody. Electricity again. This is our bright spot. This budget, we keep seeing it. Tremendous.
Wow.
All of this, these are last year's numbers, and looking at past years, they've actually gone up. So I would assume that these are preliminary placeholders and that these are not necessarily real. If you look at, so here we were at 2,500, then we're at 2,800, then we're at 3,600. Although the actual expenditure isn't that bad.
Yeah.
In fact, we've got 0 for haz waste. Maybe these numbers. Oops, let's not do that. Maybe these numbers are going to be okay. We'll see. But something to look at, I guess. Yeah, let's come back to that, I guess. So this is the trooper. This is like we talked about this before. We're kind of at the mercy of the state troopers here. We don't get to pick our trooper.
Right.
And we pay what they tell us to pay, basically. So, and it depends on seniority of the trooper, if memory serves, and sometimes
Yep.
we get lucky and sometimes we don't.
Right. And we can't say we want a newbie. Nope, you get what
No,
you
the
get.
union, I think they get to put in for it, and it's based on, who wants it, seniority wise.
Rob, if you want to go back to that recycling,
Yes, this year.
last year's bill was in May,
Oh,
so that's
So-
probably why.
Yeah. Thank
that'll
you.
do it.
Yep. That will do it. So yeah, maybe this is probably okay, but at the same time, since we've seen rises in the past, we might want to think of these as potentially low. All right. So Trooper Fire Commission, well, this is just well, we're gonna talk to Wally.
They'll give us that number, right?
Yeah, Wally's coming in on the 4th, so
Okay.
Yeah, that is his number for this year. That's the number he
Oh, it
submitted.
is.
Yep, 169. Yep.
I mean, obviously remember that department, the real meat of their spending is often not this number, but rather capital.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is, volunteer fire department. It's not a lot here. These numbers are exactly last year's numbers. I don't know if that's right.
Well, that's what he submitted. He just wants to fill that position, so,
Okay.
yep.
As long as that's up to date, it's fine. Yeah, these are no changes.
I have a question.
Yeah.
For the fire marshal, is it possible to do shared services with another town for that? Instead of having one person?
I thought we were getting a really kind of good deal already with him. Jeff,
We'll look
you have
into
thoughts?
it. We'll look into it, Louise. But if memory serves me, is that we tried to sit there and do something like that, and it was difficult to sit there and try to fill that spot. And the fire department has done a pretty good job of working with us to fill that spot. So
Okay.
So here we finally get to animal control. I don't see an increase here. I thought we talked about how it was going to be going way up.
Let me look at the,
Yeah, that doesn't look bad at all.
No, it's this can't be right because we just got told that
Yeah.
we're not getting our old number.
yep, this was, we've gotten this since. Did I not put that in? Hold on. Let me look at the email. Yeah, now they're saying 19,602.
Oh.
What the hell did
Yes.
All in all,
Sorry, it was here. All right, 19,602.
Yep.
yeah. I mean, it's a big jump, but you know
Ouch.
what?
We can't do it ourselves. This is
We can't
reality.
do it ourselves. It's a bargain.
It's,
mean,
it
I
is.
think
It's
it's
frustrating that, but yeah.
Yeah.
And if we can
Yeah,
look
I
into,
mean-
we can think about it as a long-term,
Yeah.
what can we do?
Yeah,
But
we couldn't
right
hire
now-
someone for that. We'd have
right
to
now
build
we
a
do it.
facility. Yeah.
Correct. And it has requirements, like code requirements that
Yes,
we
air
would have to,
conditioning, blah,
we'd
blah,
be
blah.
building a completely new facility, I think.
So this is
Yeah,
like a
right.
dog warden and
Yeah.
everything. Okay.
Animal
Yeah.
control. Well, yeah, that essentially, yes. I'm sure they do more than dogs, but yeah.
Like foxes and stuff that come
But I
into
expect
town.
it's mainly dogs, probably, yeah. And we
Yeah,
use
and
it
if you-
so intermittently, is
Yeah.
the thing.
So it seems like a lot for that, but really, if you think about what it would cost us to hire an individual
Mm-hmm.
with all the salary and all everything that comes along with it, and putting in a facility, I mean, we'd have to build it because we don't have one. What we used to have down there, I saw it. Yeah, you can't put an animal in there.
Right.
Yeah.
So do they handle deer? When deer gets hit on the side of the road?
I don't know.
Because that happens quite often.
That's a good question. In upstate
Yeah.
New York, you took it home and had lunch.
Yes. Yep. You know, when I hit a deer, I called my friend and said, "Hey, you want it?
Yeah.
I'll be right there." So it all depends if you know people. But yeah, I don't know if they handle that.
Yeah.
Yeah, what am I doing? Come here. So we have a couple of jumps projected here. Increase in fitness programs and others. This is like more community center usage, basically?
I think they
Is
want
that-
to add more programs. And
So-
programs cost money.
Yep. No, I get that.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's your jump. Most of it anyway. There's a few other things in here, but that's the meat of it. Senior transport, just everything but the salary right now is just using last year's numbers. It doesn't look like, in fact, it looks like we're doing rather well overall here.
Mm-hmm.
And I forget what this is, but it's $250, and I'm not sure it's that important. Which obviously we're paying into something there.
Amplify mental health. That sounds familiar.
Because like I'm familiar with us having, we're in the Eastern Highlands Health District. I don't know if this is associated with that. Because in mental health, I mean, that's partly what AHM does. Like, so this is obviously something different.
Yeah, that's so specific. $250.
Yes. I'm not quite sure what it
We
is.
spent four. Yeah.
We look and see
it's
if
not much money. We haven't spent it. And it's
Yeah,
not a
weird.
lot, So I don't know.
I don't remember that at all. I don't
Well,
remember
let me go
that.
back to, I can go back to 23, 24, and there's an amount that was $440.
Yeah, I
that
see
we
that.
spent. So let me just go back. Hold on.
Okay. I'm not quite sure what this one is either.
Let's see. Amplify? It just says amplify. So I'm not sure. It must have been a program or something. Amplify Mental Health in Glastonbury, Oakwood Drive in Glastonbury.
Amplifying school mental health literacy.
That's what it went. That's what the $440 in 23, 24 was made out to. There were two $220 checks in 23, August and November of 23.
It sounds like a training, and we'll have to dig into it.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure.
No.
And then do we know what access is? Looks like we've spent it. Last year's exactly bang on $1,000.
That's social services.
Mm-hmm.
I believe Access is the fuel assistance in Willimantic, and I believe that's what we contribute towards that.
Yeah, we're in a group there. Yeah.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in Willimantic. That's all I have is that's the name of the group in Willimantic. I'd have to look it up.
Okay.
They provide home heating oil assistance and
There you go.
clothing, a bunch of stuff. So, but Lisa, didn't they give
Okay.
us a letter? That was more of a requesting that.
What, this year?
Yeah.
I don't have anything for them. I just probably put it in there because that's what we had last year. But
think
so
we-
do they usually request, Jim?
I don't know if they request annually.
All right, I'd have to look at last year.
Oh,
All
All right,
I
AHM
think
we
they
already
usually
talked about.
call to ask.
Okay. I call to ask, Carol. Okay. Thank you. So yeah, this whole section, I mean, a lot, the most of what you see here, this is the senior program stuff um, and then bits and bobs elsewhere.
The
So then
senior,
we have the library.
sorry.
Sorry, so
Just say this.
is what it is.
I had the senior program, is this like, I was just wondering if someone could kind of explain to me like really high level what the senior program is.
Various activities for the seniors. I know if they do they do some trips, and I think it's separate there's senior lunch, but I think that's separate line. But in
So
this, go ahead.
they have activities and people that come in and provide activities at the senior center. Some of them are subsidized by the town, and some of the items the seniors contribute a little bit to. So I think that's what they all are.
And the benefits anyone who's a senior in the community, or is
That
there
wants
like
to use it, yeah.
Anybody that wants to go, I go to Coffee and Crafts on Friday when they have it. When it's not shut down by surprise. Yeah.
Got it. Okay, I was just
no. Yeah.
I was just genuinely curious is all. Sorry.
Yeah, yep. They do bingo on Wednesdays with the senior lunch. They do all kinds of, fun little things.
I'll get them to send out the monthly brochure to the members of the Board of Finance. I think it would help.
Yeah.
I do believe they have it in PDF, so it'd be easily accessible, but they also have a nice version that they give out in paper for us old dinosaurs that like paper.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you at the paper. That's why I go down to town hall every.
Yeah, where's the line item for Liz's printing costs?
Hey, Nick.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
No, it's true. It's true. Yep.
Nick, it's Louise. It's also a community center. It's not just senior center. So there are things for, the younger folk as well. So you might want to check it out.
Now, do we use the same line item for that? Like it's labeled as a senior programs. If we have other programs, is that back up in the community center budget? I didn't see it. I can go back up.
That's a good question. That's a good question, Rob, because there are, like family bingo at night. It's not just for seniors.
Right. It's
Does
supposed
that
to be
come
a
out of the
multi-use
senior
building.
program? Yeah.
Actually, Louise, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Sunday, Lisa and I happened to be in the town hall, and there was an activity going on at the community center. What was that?
As I understand it, I wasn't there. That was Joe. And actually, it was the Pinewood Derby for the Boy Scouts.
That's awesome.
Told you somebody had a tie on, Jeff.
we were wondering what was going on. So.
Yeah, they do that every year.
Memories of badly losing a car race.
I would think, I'm wondering if some of the stuff that's not for the seniors, since this line is labeled senior citizens, is some of that stuff labeled in the rec department? I don't know.
I was wondering. That's what I was wondering too.
Me too.
Well, we're going to get Recreation Commission's coming up. We'll see.
Right.
And I don't see a big change there. Before we do that, this library, like I just said, I need to get in touch with Kathy and ask her to come in, but they're asking for some increases here.
Yeah, I'm curious about more specifics about the library operations. Like it's a number, and I'm like $28,000. What comes with library operations, knowing nothing about library operations.
I mean,
they do programs there too, I think, and they also have employees, obviously.
Right.
But yeah,
that's payroll.
That's facility maintenance. That's
right.
everything.
Utilities. Yeah.
So there's payroll, and then there's
just a big
sorry,
number.
go ahead, Jack.
Library operations is And I mean, they'll sit there and give you a breakdown, but I'm just telling you, it's the utilities, it's the landscaping, it's everything else that they pay to sit there and
Furnace
keep that
cleaning,
building
yep.
open.
Yeah.
Okay, I
Yeah.
never knew what it was because
Carpet
we never really saw
cleaning,
anything
copier
specific.
maintenance, yeah, window cleaning,
Okay.
alarm service, building repairs, air conditioner cleaning. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
So this is maybe a little out of scope, but they have building repairs. Where does their capital budget come from? Like if they have big repairs at the library.
The library's actually done a very good job of, like, we need to put something on our next Board of Selectmen. They want to do something and they fundraised for it, Nick. Their group is very active in trying to not spend tax dollars and to sit there and fundraise for things. So if they have capital or budget maintenance that's outside of the scope, we'll take it out of the budget. There's a budget maintenance line here, a building maintenance line, and we'll split that around a lot of the town buildings that we sit there and will maintain. But if they have something big, they'll fundraise or they'll come to us and we'll pull it out of a different building fund.
They don't tend to have an annual capital budget is the answer. Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to remember the last one I remember being involved in at all was we were talking about a CIP. They had some windows they needed to
They pointed
fix
the
up.
windows.
Yeah.
Because it's such an old building, you
it's
have to go
historic.
through the whole pointing, lead pointing, whatever that whole issue is that it's required. But that was the last big thing they did, and they've done a lot of landscaping at that. I mean, Eric actually, the connectivity grant that did the sidewalks and the wall around the library about 2 years ago. So, but they're a very active organization in town, the library committee.
Mm-hmm.
So Friends of the Libraries, right?
Yeah.
Friends of the Library.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
So it's the Rec Commission. There does seem to be an increase here in programs. There's not a lot of detail. It does say something about additional concert. So I don't know. I actually don't know that much about the Rec Commission. But it doesn't seem to me like this line item is what we were talking about earlier. I don't know that it's in here. But this looks like a real number with a budget request and an explanation. So this is their numbers that have come in. I don't know if that was in that packet.
It was kind of hard to tell because for some reason they submitted two budgets, and I don't know if two people, one of them's got blue ink and the other one's got black ink. So I took the one that seemed most recent. Did I put in there? I might have missed this one to put in for your informational pages. It's something with the Andover Community Garden budget request.
Okay.
So, and that's $3,785, which is that community garden.
Yep.
I mean, that's a big increase. I could get that to you. I didn't send that right.
It's a $225 increase, 6.32%, and I don't think I have anything on it. Carol's got her hand up. What's up, Carol?
Okay, so the community garden, the Recreation Commission is not in charge of the community garden budget. It is just put under the Recreation Commission. There is a separate committee that handles the community garden budget.
Okay.
The Recreation Commission, we just asked for the extra money because we would like to have an additional concert over the summer or in the fall. And we also asked for an additional $900 to cover half of the cost for the community and senior center program where people can register online for their programs and things like that, because we're going to work with the community center for registering our different sports programs and that.
Okay. Thank you for that.
So that's maybe why I got two of them then, one from the garden center and then one from the rec commission. Okay.
Right, because
That makes sense.
Jeff would have submitted that for the community garden.
Okay.
Lisa, can you read what Jeff submitted from the community garden? Did he give any?
Yeah, for the 3,785, right?
Yeah.
It's in there,
Yep.
yeah. $1,800 for an irrigation system, $100 for rototiller rental, $75 for rye, $750 for neem oil, $200 for plants for the window boxes, $300 for seeds, $250 for berry bushes, $150 for Orbit digital irrigation timers, and crushed stone for $250.
We obviously didn't spend our budget this year. Well, I mean, again, we're not spring yet, so
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not springtime, so they probably haven't yet.
yep, that's seasonal.
We just
Yeah.
got about $500 bill for seeds.
I guess I don't know. I'm gonna sound very unpopular.
Well, listen, I don't necessarily think you have to sound unpopular. I think what we have to do is get Jeff in here and ask what level of commitment there's been from the rest of the community on the community gardens.
Why can't the people in the community that need gardening space and want to use that space that's already built and it's already beautiful, why can't they bring their own seeds? Like, why is the town, and I know we're not talking a lot of money here. I know we're not talking a lot, but why is the town paying for this? Just my opinion.
And also, Liz, I don't want to interrupt, but I agree with you on the seeds. A lot of times you can get those seeds free, but they're like 1 year old seeds. And most of the people that are doing stuff like that, they kind of a lot of times they bring their own plants in there. So I don't know where all those $500 worth of seeds goes.
This has to be something that is just discussed in a global. It's not a. It's a large amount of money, but small amount of money at the same time. We just have to figure out if there is enough community involvement to justify spending people's tax dollars on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would be happy to have them come in and talk to us. I don't know the guy who does it, and I don't have contact info. Could somebody else, help me out with that and reach out to him and see if we could make maybe our 318 meeting?
I can do that. Jeff is a great guy. He's done so much for that garden. He's done so much.
I have a vague recollection of him talking to us once before, but if we could see if he's available on like the 11th or the 18th.
Okay, I'll check with him.
Okay.
Just to do like a little summary or can explain what
he's and those are dates, Liz, you'll be back, right? So your questions. Yeah. Let's see if we can hit one of those 2 dates.
Okay.
Thanks, Louise.
Okay.
Thank you. This is an odd little line item. Miscellaneous Memorial Day expenses. It seems to be something that bounces around.
Yeah.
Who
runs that?
I don't know what it means.
Carol, do you know who runs that?
Are you talking about Memorial Day?
Memorial Day miscellaneous expenses.
Committee, and what we do, those are for flags, the flags that you see hanging on School Road and 316. As those flags need to be replaced, this is the fund that it comes from.
I get it.
And we also use it for, we have the wreath that we put down on Veterans Monument Park. So that's what that is for. And it also covers cemetery flags. We buy 144 cemetery flags each year, and they're placed on all of the veterans' graves.
Okay. Well, so I could see how that could bounce around because you may have 1 year where your flags are kind of wearing down and you need new ones.
Right.
Okay. Well, I don't have a problem with that as long, if that's the number that's needed, whatever. Board of Selectmen. flat, well, mostly flat. Board clerk, this is something I presumably under discussion. Hey, look at us. We have a clerk. We need a clerk.
We do.
Are you not, Rob, that's a question because I've had this question. Are you not getting your minutes transcribed or dealt with anymore?
Yeah, we are.
Well,
You
we
are.
are.
Okay. All
We
right.
were talking about, there was one transcription that Liz had looked at and thought lacked a little detail and she wanted to add to it, but we might have some further discussion about that in future if we feel as a board that we'd like to see a little more, but no, we're getting.
Okay. And just as a question, it goes through Kate to Marina and then back to you, Rob?
But
Or
Kate
back to
usually just
Kate.
puts the minutes in our packet.
Got it. Okay.
So I don't know exactly what the process is between those two. But yeah, it's Kate I rely on to get that in our packet for us. This is basically nothing and it's flat. Board of Assessment Appeals, again, these are such tiny numbers. Zoning Board of Appeals, again, same thing. Economic Development Commission is TCCC membership. All right, I'm not quite sure what's going on there with this cut. Huh. I guess
See
just
if they
because we
wrote,
haven't been
I'm gonna
spending it.
see if they wrote anything. Yeah,
Okay.
I wrote down with a question mark on it, but there's no, let's see. I don't know where it's down. Was there a sign or something that went up? No?
Oh, but
A welcome to Andover sign this year was
yes.
that was last year, maybe?
Yeah, and then we have the second time, but this year, I mean, it's a huge drop. So, and we didn't spend unless it's still a come because we haven't put the sign in. That's probably what it is. So this, okay, because if you look in the past, that's what it is.
But now we need to look at the beautification amount. We're
Right,
gonna have
because
to
it's that
put those
over.
together. Yep.
Yeah. Is there an overlap? Okay, these are some commissions in town. Just need more clerking, I guess, for more meetings for inlands and wetlands. Okay. So it's a big percentage jump, but I mean, it's $500. And there you go. Total. So that is, and that's, remember, this is with whatever this is, blah, words are hard. 4.5% is what it looks like right now. And again, that number is fuzzy as heck. Don't take that anywhere. But that's the town's operation budget, right? And then we have to look at, and this is where, there's a lot of important stuff in here that we're going to have to talk about. The one that's pretty locked in, obviously, is this one, because that's the lease on the fire truck. I mean, I think that's the minimum because that's the lease on the fire truck.
And the plow. And the plow. Don't we still have the 127 on the plow?
Quite possibly. You mean, is it, you're talking about?
We'll have to look at that. Yeah, not the fire engine. The fire engine, we have that locked in because there's a 10-year loan on it.
Yeah, there's a lease.
The one underneath it is, I believe, the same issue, the 125. Yep. We have to look at that. Right. I don't know when it expires.
Yeah. But yeah, this one, there's nothing you can do about these numbers, basically. These, this is just building up for the next reval. We have to be doing that. Contingency, this is what we put in every year. this one will, I think, bear some discussion as to where we are on that and what's in the fund and what we're using it for. So this year, again, this is the least amount, but then the next question is, okay, Wally, what are you coming down the pike for fire department equipment? Do we start, and what's in the fund now? And what are we looking like if in 5 years we need, something? Do we have the money? And or do we need to do something with this number? Road improvement, this is a little bit of an interesting fund because we're using it we tend to be using this every year in addition to our town aid road money. Put those two together, that's the road work we do. We usually try to do about 400 a year. Last year we ended up at 385. As you can see, it was 410 the year prior. Tree removal, we've had a lot of success with partnering with Eversource. Eric was pretty rightfully proud of the progress we've made there. 50,000 has been the number, and frankly, given the progress we've made, I think we've spent really good money there. But we should probably at least ask, once we have a town administrator, or maybe talk to the public works guys what they think. I don't know who's the best person to ask as to whether this is the appropriate going forward number,
Scott
given where we're at.
Scott Persone is the best person to ask for that right now.
Okay. Well, you guys are going to talk about this stuff as well as a select board, right? So, and he's on there. So let me know if he has, if you guys have thoughts. Bridges and culverts, like I say, here's another one. This is my personal, the big one, the one I'm worried about, as to whether or not we're going to be able to deal with all the bridges and culverts, because the costs of this have really risen. Building maintenance fund. I can't remember why we cut this down, but we very much did. So I have to think about that. I can't remember. AS Capital.
You cut it because you had to reduce the total. So that's where it came out of.
Okay. I'm trying to remember. I don't recall. I remember us cutting the road. I don't remember us cutting the building maintenance fund, but obviously we did. And open space is, as you can see, it's a fairly, well, that looks like we cut that down too. This is another one to look at and to see what are we actually using it on? What do we have in there? Is this an appropriate level, or did we cut this in desperation to pass a budget, and does it need to be looked at?
I think that's why we cut it.
Yeah, I mean, it's entirely that all makes total sense. My memory was probably because I was all traumatized about cutting the road fund and I forgot the other two. I hated that cut so much. Okay, so and then down here you get your totals, and as you can see, with these two, and then it nets out. And again, this isn't a real number. Right now, expenditures are at 5.9. We have a little revenue bump. So the actual, if we had the amount to be raised by taxation tab, the mill rate tab, it wouldn't be this number here, but it would probably be close because this number's up. You got to account for the revenue. So that's what we have so far, guys. If those of us who remember, last year who were here, as you recall, there's a little more to this spreadsheet once we get it fully built out. But I'm sure we'll continue to work with Lisa and get there. But there you go. There's your first walkthrough of our budget. And I don't know about you, but I'm fried. It's 9:20.
Yeah. Same.
I'm slowing down here.
Yeah.
I hope I haven't put anybody to sleep. But
no, I think
we have a lot to do, and I think it was at least, I hope Heather and Nick, I hope you guys found that helpful.
I did. Thank you.
Okay, great. I'm going to save this. Okay. This is obviously not the chart, but I like to have my own to play with. So this is mine. It is my spreadsheet, and it is mine. Okay. I'm going to stop sharing, guys. How do I stop sharing? Bloody hell, stop share. There it is. Thank you. All right. That's all right. So unless anybody has anything further, I'd like to move on to correspondence and public speak. correspondence, I mean, I guess I would mention that I think hopefully you've all seen it by now, but we've had additional legal opinions come around and be presented. I think that's all I've got for that item. And so I'd like to move on and do a last round of public speak. Let's see. Where are my participants? Who's left? Oh, so apologies for the length of the meeting, everybody. Let's go to public speak. Brianne, I hope I'm saying your name right, by the way.
No, nothing at this.
Okay, thank you. Jenny Morrell.
Nothing. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And Joanne,
All set. Thanks, Rob.
as always. Okay.
Many people left.
Hmm?
Not many people left.
Actually,
No.
Carol as well.
Oh, yes, sorry. I keep thinking select board member, but yes, you're right. Carol, do you have anything to add?
It's okay. I'm all set. Thank you.
Thanks for the info you gave us tonight. It was helpful. Okay.
About Jim.
Do I have a motion? Oh, well, Jim is
This will be our last meeting with him tonight,
yeah,
right?
okay. That's a very good point. Jim, thank you for your service. And I hope you
Thank
enjoy your new
so
place.
much.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for the opportunity. It was great working with you, and I'm a little cooked too today. So
Yeah.
good time ahead.
We're definitely going to miss you and never forgive you for leaving us.
That's why he
You
had to
would've-
move to another state. In any
You would have
event,
had my vote.
he knows
You
how
would
it
have had my
works.
vote.
All right. Well, yeah. So good luck with everything, Jim. And can I get a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Excellent.
I'll
Was
second.
that you, Liz?
Louise second. Yeah,
And you motioned?
I motioned.
Sorry, I have when I shared my screen, it screwed up my vision of everybody. Hi, I'm doing jazz.
Motioning. I'm motioning.
In any event, all in favor, please. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Good. Thank you all.